I don't think I've ever seen a player celebrate a consolation goal like that before. Maybe Osman Bukhari.
I was going to say that.
You could tell that was a celebration of a man who said, finally, I've scored.
A World Cup goal is a big deal.
I get it. But I'm sure he was celebrating the fact that the technique worked.
Lewandowski, he cried when he scored his first World Cup goal. Who are we to complain about Osman Bukhari? Because he did celebrate back to the center circle like a professional.
Yeah. Anyway,
someone broke down the tears.
Guys, I think we can only start from one place. We'll get to Kylian. Let's talk about the game first, and then we talk about Kylian Mbappé and where he is now and what he means for this French team. So your thoughts on this? It turned out to be the no contest I thought it would be. Some people thought, it was going to be a fight, but it really wasn't a fight.
Oh yeah, I mean, we expected the flow of the game to be more the French have the ball, the Polish counter-attack, that kind of thing. But even then, if you look at the goals the French scored, and I'll go back to this because I'm here to give statistical analysis. These were not easy chances. If you look at Mbappe's 2 goals, those are not easy chances. Maybe Giroud's chances closer to easy, but even Giroud's finish, that's experience. And speaking of Giroud, he became France's record scorer. I have to give him a shout out for that. But even going to that, I think.
But Daniel, you seem to have a bias for the natural scorers.
Mbappé is a natural scorer.
I'm just asking. Nathan, do you have a bias?
Nathan, what was the score for this game?
3-1.
Who won?
France.
How do you determine the winner?
The score, the goals. I mean, no, you don't get my point. I'm saying that, for example, between Mbappé and Haaland, I know you like Haaland. Mm-hmm. You're talking about Giroud. So I'm just asking, is it that of the players who play across the forward line, you seem to love the one who is, quote unquote, for a lack of a better word, a ruthless scorer?
Yeah, the machines.
That's just the
guys who won't stop until the final whistle goes. The ones who are obsessed with the back of the net. Ruud van Nistelrooy, Thierry Henry. Those are the guys who got me going.
Mbappé falls into that category.
Yeah, but you see,
maybe he's still developing that.
When we get to the Mbappé conversation, I'll tell you what the difference.
So you're talking about France's execution of those chances.
Yeah, and that's high quality players. That's what high quality players do for you. And speaking of Olivier Giroud, him breaking Henry's record, I'm sure it's taken him about 10 years and a bit because he scored his first goal in March or February 2012 against Germany. So he's won he won the first World Cup. He didn't even score a goal, but they won it anyway because it's not all about the goals for him. He offers other things, but I have to say Olivier Giroud has improved a lot as a player, and that's one of the things. No.
Always been this good.
He wasn't this good a finisher. No. And he made a lot of a difference. And for me, I think the consistency in his finishing has been one of the things that has helped him later in his career because he's the same player. He's even lost a bit of pace, but it was never something he used like that. His hold-up play and his link-up play has always been great. But now that he's added the consistency of his finishing, he's a striker that France can rely. Because remember, when you were going to Euro 2016, many were saying that Benzema should have gone because they don't trust Giroud to get their goals. In the end, they didn't win, but it wasn't Giroud's fault. Like, let's not blame him.
It was Gignac's fault.
2018, we go into the World Cup. He doesn't score a goal. They still win. There's still some criticism about him. He ends up at Chelsea. He wins the Champions League and Europa League. Playing very well in both competitions, mind you. I believe he was even top scorer in the Europa League when it happened. He goes to AC Milan, helps them win their first title for 10 years. I think they are joint top scorer, one of the top scorers in the team. So we are seeing a more consistent Giroud in front of goal in terms of the fact that now it's not that. Remember that run he went, and I'll point to that Monaco Arsenal game if you remember, where he kind of ballooned all these chances. It's the consistency, and that's what I like about Giroud because he never stopped working. He's always trying to improve his craft, and the rewards are here. He's not France's record scorer by accident or chance. And you can say, he's played 100 and whatever games. And so what? So did Henry. Henry played 123 games for France. He's broken the record. So I just like the fact that he's kept on improving and he's kept on adding to his game. And he's become the finisher. Because he's even started adding spectacular goals. Because at the beginning, he wasn't scoring this scorpion kick, bicycle kick, all of that. And even the bicycle kick he scored probably should have been allowed if not for a mistake from the referee. So, look, we have to give credit to Olivier Giroud because the fact that he keeps on improving and the way he plays, he can probably play until he's 40 if he wants to. Because if you are not relying on your pace, your strength is going to be there. Your frame is going to be there. Your technique, you won't lose your technique because the technique is there. and your mind is getting sharper in the sense that you have more experience, you are smarter. So I'm just loving the way Olivier Giroud is playing, and the fact that this World Cup he's contributing the goals.
He's actually scoring.
So you can't come and if they win the World Cup again, you can't come and say, oh, he was just playing, he didn't score. When France won the World Cup the first time, their starting striker also didn't score. as well. He didn't score as well, and this is someone who has been top scorer in the French league before. So it's not like sometimes it works that Henry was their top scorer in that World Cup. And he was not the starting number 9. He was playing a bit more from the wing. So,
all right, let's have a look at the data, and then we'll get in on the individual performances. So, interesting. Poland with an XG of 1.8. They ended up scoring only 1.
That's because of penalty.
The
Penalty, of course,
so
bumped
more
up.
like 1.0, and then the
But then
penalty.
the others.
By the time the penalty comes, the game was over anyways.
Was done. Well, I mean, I think the rest of the numbers do speak for themselves. More shots for France, more shots on target, more entries into the penalty area. Passing accuracy in the final third, way better than the Poles. Way better than the Poles. So France excelling on the day. But when I look at this French
there was that left-wing bias because you have Theo Hernandez, Rabiot is drifting to the left, Griezmann. So it's almost like there's a kind of 4 guys who are doing all the work. And they also have Dembele on the other side who picks the ball a bit deeper and drives for it. So they have a system that's working for them and using their flanks. And I thought Deschamps would, be a bit more defensive, but maybe it was Poland. We'll see how he plays against England. But I'm liking the way the wingers are playing. And we mentioned it on Scorecard yesterday that Kyle Walker and John Stones will have they'll have their hands full if they are dealing with Mbappé, Hernandez, Griezmann. And Griezmann has been very quietly, he's been very good. And he's playing in a more unfamiliar midfield role, but he's still delivering. And I'm happy for him because
dropping deep.
He did in the Euros. He was excellent in the Euros. Unfortunately, Mbappé had to waste the chances.
Because he struggled a bit at club level. He's not really getting the games. He's not really on form. But looks like when it comes to the national team, all that goes out the window.
Maybe except on penalty duty.
Nathan, this is something I just want to. The final third entries. Yeah. The fact that we saw Poland against Argentina, how much they struggled. We saw Poland, is it the first game against Mexico, how much they struggled going forward. They entered the final third quite a number of times. They got some shots away from inside the box. 9-0 against France instead. To be fair, in as much as the French have been good, it's Australia, it's Tunisia, it's Denmark who they faced up until this point in Poland. They've not really been tested. I'm saying if you give the English 9 shots inside the box, I don't think it's not going to be as straightforward as we think.
I see.
It's going to be an extremely tight game. And I feel like Deschamps' natural instinct will kick in when he's facing the English. Because in as much as you would want to capitalize on the wing play, defensively too, they need to be solid. Because I will not be surprised if the English switch to a back 3 to be able to accommodate the threat of Mbappé. And if they do that on the counter-attack, as we've seen throughout the competition, they are extremely dangerous. The French backline lacks pace. Theo Hernandez lacks defensive awareness. And if you pin him down to do more defending, he's going to struggle. So I think that quarter-final game it's far from an easy contest. It's far from Mbappé against this person. It's going to be a disgrace. The English also have a lot of weapons in the arsenal.
I want to touch on that. The French midfield, like you said, have not faced a world-class midfield yet. And
but is
the English
midfield world-class?
That's
what?
They are as close. They are pretty. They are level above. They are pretty close. These are top players in their leagues. I mean, I'm not saying that Declan Rice, Henderson, and Bellingham will win you the World Cup, but I'm saying that compared, these are and they are regular. 2 of them are regulars in the Champions League, and it's not like Declan Rice has not been playing very well in the Conference League and Europa League in the last year. So these are players who've played at the higher levels. With all due respect to the Tunisians and the Danes and the Australians, the Australian midfield has players playing in Scotland, the Championship. The Tunisian midfield, one of their top midfielders is playing in Saudi Arabia. You know, that kind of thing. It's not that they're not good players, but there's a certain consistency of the level the English midfield is playing at, which is the only one which is similar to the French midfield so far. And that's where we'll see the difference, because even yesterday, Tchouaméni did not play too well. Was it yesterday they played Sunday? Yeah. Tchouaméni was not quite good yesterday. And that's a worry, because he has been the metronome and the kind of solid base they are building on. And if the Poles were able to give him that many problems, I wonder what's going to happen when he has to face Bellingham. And it's not like Bellingham is some elite Jesus Christ midfielder, but the fact is he's very dangerous. He can drive forward and he finds space in the box. He's not a kind of he's not like a Riquelme. He's more of like a Lampard, but those players are even more dangerous because they are efficient.
He's better on the ball.
He is better on the ball.
He's better on the ball. I'm just saying that
he's
not like a Riquelme that he's going to be splitting your defense. But the fact is he's a very direct midfielder. He's trying to get into the box, find space, score goals, and make things happen. And that type of midfielder, if you are Tchouaméni and you are Griezmann and you are Rabiot, you have to be tracking his runs. And you don't track it properly. And we'll talk about when you get to Senegal, how Senegal let him lose twice. And it cost them 2 goals.
Okay.
Tracking that player is very difficult. And if you don't have that pace and you leave space for him, he will exploit it.
Well, we'll see how he plays out. England do have Gareth Southgate. And that means that he'll probably fumble the script and England will get KO'd.
Don't do that.
So maybe you can demonstrate again. So we saw the evolution of the XG and things in the Netherlands-USA game. Maybe you can get to the screen and just run us through the points. I think you can use the big one, the one behind us.
So you can see Giroud's chance is kind of a bigger jump, right?
Okay.
So this was a chance Polanco. But look at Mbappe's chances, the jumps. Look at this one. It's not even a jump. The line is almost straight, which means that the chance is like a 0 chance. There's really no chance there. Okay. But look at the finish he produced. And that's what we are talking about in terms of quality players and what they can do. So when you have a player like this, even a half chance becomes a chance. Because remember, these stats are based on the average player. Giroud's chance, what they are saying is most strikers should be scoring that. But what they are saying about Mbappe's chance is that they are not happening. And look at the polls. It's only this early chance they created here and this penalty are the only chances of news. Because if you look at the rest of the chances, not that much quality. So there was volume, but the quality was poor. So that's one of the things they needed to have done better. They didn't create really quality chances with their openings.
So it means that what is beginning to emerge, and we've seen that through this competition, is 2 things. The battle between the volume and the quality of chance. So you can create 20 chances. Maybe only 2 of them are high quality chances. And you can create 5 and all 5, the opponent can create 5 and all 5 are super quality chances. Wow. So what's that coming down to? Is it the quality of the pass, quality of delivery, the type of player who's receiving the shot or who's receiving the pass?
I think every team would want to ideally create a tap-in. But some teams realize they don't have the quality to do that. And that's where we also want to talk about counter-attacking teams and game state. Because if you're a team like France, for example, and you get that early goal, you can sit back and the space opens. Because we saw it in the Argentina graph. When the space kind of opened up, the distance, the verticality of the chances on the graph, we saw that they were getting higher and higher. And those are the chances.
It was the same thing we saw in the Netherlands game.
Exactly. Because the chances are getting easier because there's more space. So that's why if you're a team, and we'll talk about when in Senegal, you need to close up shop when you're playing a quote-unquote superior team to not make it easy for them. You don't want them to get a lot of space to punish you. Because the better the team, the more space you give them, the more they'll punish you. And they'll punish you more regularly. So teams have to find the balance between keeping it tight.
And we even see the same thing.
And look at Messi's chance. Look at the quality of the chance.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's nothing. That's not a chance.
But he scored.
Exactly. It's not a chance. But look at the chances Argentina get later. How it just kind of pushes their XG. Because if you look at that, until basically the Australian goal, the Argentine XG didn't go above 0.5. The chances were not that quick. Even Julian Alvarez's chance, though, is like it's easy because there's no keeper. Remember, the keeper is close to him. There's defenders between, because it accounts for those things. But if there's defenders, then they can make the block. So even the chance we saw the dribble for the Australians, because of how quickly Lisandro Martinez got to him, it probably went from a chance if Lisandro Martinez was not, they would have had a huge XG. He created the XG by appearing. So look at the chances Argentina got towards the end. Look at how big the gaps are. And that's game state as well. And that's another part of managing the game. That when you're pushing for it, you're not opening yourself out to those things. Because even though Argentina had a lot of the ball, you can see that the chances that they were creating were not high quality. And the Australians were probably happy to be there. Because if you look at it, if Argentina had average players and no Messi, I think Australia could have gone through the match and not considered until much later and played to it.
I see. Wow, quite interesting, quite detailed stuff there from Susu Graham. Now let's focus on the star of the show, Kylian Mbappé. He scored twice, 2 very, very good goals. And from the XG, we've seen that
all his goals at the World Cups.
For the average man, you shouldn't be scoring such a goal, but that's Kylian Mbappé. 9 goals across 2 World Cups. An XG of 5.0, so he's outperforming the XG. He's taking 29 shots, 0.17 XG per shot. So now if somebody says, what does that mean? It means that for every shot he takes, that's the weight and the value.
About 17%.
About 17% chance of scoring.
The XG should have 5 goals, but that's quality that he's managed to score 9. So he's obliterating his XG, really.
Destroying it, really. 11 games in all. And then we see a touch map, really, of his goals. I'm curious to see what that red dot is. When did he score that?
World Cup final. Outside the box.
World
Cup final.
Oh, I don't remember. I thought that goal was
against Croatia.
Against Croatia, it's true. Of course, we see the bigger ones, the higher XG ones, very close to goal. It makes sense. He's virtually facing the goalkeeper all alone. Very interesting spread.
It's a very good return. 11 games, 9 goals. And Suso has spoken about it. His expected goals is 5. He's done 4 better than that. That just shows you how good he is. And when you look at the small circles, the 2 goals he scored against Poland, the one he scored in the World Cup final, it comes down to technique. And sometimes when you have that, it gives you a better chance of scoring than some other players, because that was top. And what I loved about the second goal against Poland was we saw it was a similar chance to Lautaro Martinez. His was easier, but he decided to take it first time. Mbappe is so confident in his abilities and his technique that he stopped it, repositioned himself, and then banged it into the first pool. That is a different level of quality.
I see.
And there was a defender there.
And there were defenders closing him down, but he knew he had picked his spot. He knew that even if they close him down, he has the ability to go past them and get another easy chance. So that is elite. He's showing elite level, but I want this consistency to continue. Let us still be talking about Kylian Mbappé with this sort of confidence in the next World Cup and the next one, because now a new standard has been set. It was not enough for you to come around for 3-4 years and for you to be compared to the greats. It needs to be consistent. It needs to run through a period of time. And I don't put it past him, because he looks like he has that attitude. He's hungry. He looks like he's embraced this tag of being the star boy. This is his World Cup, and he's embraced it. And he's not walking around like what he does at PSG and expecting things to happen. He's making things happen. He's not just scoring goals. He's providing his off-the-ball movement, helping teammates. And this is the Mbappe we want to see. Honestly, this is a top-class footballer that we want to see.
What I liked about this is he was taking a lot of shots in the box, because you don't want to waste the ball. And I don't compare unfavorably to Cristiano Ronaldo. I know it won't make Daniel happy, but look at the amount of shots Ronaldo took outside the box. For me, that is not helping your team in the sense that most of them won't go in. The odd one will go in, but it's a waste of a possession. And that's what I like about him, the efficiency. But the difference is, because Cristiano Ronaldo has done it before, I can understand why he would do it again. You see, and a lot of players do this. And I'll even use a very good example. Someone like Roberto Carlos. Most of Roberto Carlos's free kicks didn't go in. But because of that free kick he scored against France, he thought he could do it every time. But that's the thing. Sometimes some things just happen once and they don't happen again. And some players do these things once and they feel that they can do it all again. We've seen Cristiano Ronaldo do it again, don't get me wrong. But look at Mbappe. Mbappe he's keeping to a script, but it's also a product of modern football.
Exactly.
That's another thing. I also want to be fair to Cristiano Ronaldo that before 2014, this was the Stars Revolution is more of a 2016, 2017, 2018 thing. So post
shoot on sight was actually a strategy.
Was a strategy.
Yeah.
So now, if you have a player who is shooting on sight, managers will bench you. It's very simple, because you need seriously, because
everybody is trying to pass and get to as close to goal as possible.
And if you look at even a league like the Premier League, maybe in 2002, 2003, around there, maybe 20%. 25% of shots were outside the box. Now it's as low as 16, 15%. Yeah. You know, that kind of thing. Because teams are realizing that, look, we are better off getting closer to go and shoot. And it's helping players like Mbappe, because someone like Ronaldo or Messi, if they had played in a system like Mbappe and were shooting mostly in their box, I'm telling you, their goal numbers, their goal numbers will be through the roof.
The 95 goals.
No, I'm telling you.
But you do make a point about the evolution of the times. Because, for example, if you watch the Premier League goal of the season compilation from the year 2000 till about...
Some of the shots they are
Some of
taking.
them were ridiculous.
And that's the thing. Even the players, when you watch the license that the likes of Lampard, Gerrard had to shoot almost every time they had the ball. Think about it. It's not all the time they were hitting the target.
Pedro Mendes
hitting from the second. And this was something I was thinking of. When you look at the modern day midfielders, in as much as they have the technical ability to hit the target from range, how many of them actually try those shots? And it's something that you see quite a number of people complaining about. Bruno Fernandes has come to look like an outlier. But Bruno Fernandes 10 years ago would have been your typical number 8, your normal midfielder. Where anytime he picks up the ball and he sees that he can take, he takes the shot, it's blocked, he does it again. And as Susu said, it's a difference in times. Football is changing, so we are seeing some different patterns. It's not because Mbappé is better than Messi or Ronaldo.
I never said that. I said I like the efficiency.
Shoot on sight. But it's true. I mean, he's a consequence of the times. I'm sure he knows at the back of his mind
even before Messi and Ronaldo, how many wingers were playing on the wrong side, quote unquote, and cutting inside? Because
nowadays, a rarity.
Because nowadays, most of the number 11s play on the right. Yeah. People who are wearing 11, they are playing on the right. Because as a left footer, you want to wear 11, but you are playing on the right.
The only player I can think, but he wasn't even the most popular. Sevilla had a winger called Diego Capel.
Diego Capel even
he
played on the
right. He played on the. He was left-footed, but played on the right.
He played on the left even most of the time. So, and even a good example, a player I like a lot, his evolution, Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos was your typical fullback, strong defensively and could go for it.
Up and down.
He had to become a centre back later in life because for a fullback, I don't think he was as agile on the ball as people would like and those type of things. So the evolution is very interesting. It's brought out some interesting players. Because even Ian Robin, if I remember correctly, at Chelsea, he played mostly on the left at Chelsea. Yeah. It was when he went to Bayern, Real Madrid and Bayern, he started playing on the right.
That is true. Because he had Damien Duff on the other flank, and Robin stayed on his natural side. Anyway, interesting conversations. We'll take another break. This is a World Cup Daily Show.